Virtualverse, the virtuals.io, the fun platforms that everybody ends up getting wrecked on. He's going to help us try not to get wrecked. Remember, this is not financial advice. Do your own research. Make sure you're only playing with enough that you can afford to lose, just in case you do lose it. We don't want anybody living in cardboard boxes around here. We want to see you guys moving up towards mansions. All right. So yeah, you can take it away, Caesar. We're live with our friends here. Come join us. www.discord.gg/CJN friends.
Oh yeah. Am I able to share my screen? I know
Yes,
last time we
sir.
were. Oh, it looks like we are. Okay, cool. Let me go ahead and set that up, just so I can show you guys what I'm looking at as we're talking about it. Um, I know everyone here from 100x is already very, very comfortable and knowledgeable in the virtuals ecosystem, and that's something that we want to go ahead and talk about here today. For anyone that doesn't know what virtuals is, this is going to be a really good intro sort of talk for like an hour. We're going to go ahead and just go over everything that virtuals is, everything that it was, everything that it's going to be, and then see how to navigate it, how to make sure you do your own research, how to see which projects are looking good, how to ensure that you're getting into something that's fun, that's potentially give you some returns. And yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, virtuals protocol is what they call themselves, is a society of AI agents. It's pretty much where you go, you find agents that you like, agents to invest in, agents to support, and then a lot of them have utilities, they have things that you can do, they have terminals, they have chats that you can talk to. It's a lot of different fun things, but for a lot of people, the main things is like, hey, a lot of these agents have done really, really well. I think it was Polo that actually introduced us to the virtual protocol over at 100x. Him and I think his brother was launching a agent over there, and so he's like, "Hey, you guys should definitely check out this ecosystem." We checked it out. We saw that it was a lot of cool stuff, and man, has it changed over the last like 6 months? It's changed tremendously. If you look at virtual protocol today, that like what it was back in I think late October, early November, it's completely changed, and it's only changing more and more every single week. So, like we said, Virtuals Protocol is a place for you to go look about AI agents. You probably have seen AI agents all over your timeline over the last couple months. We had a little bit of a hiatus for about 3 months. I think after January, early February, things really slowed down with the market taking a hit. So Virtuals really, put their head down and decided to build a lot of different things. A lot of people assumed they were dead. The token fell down to 75 cents. So they're like, hey, you know what? Maybe this thing is over. We had a good 3, 4 months. You know what? GG's. We'll call it a day and go from there. But Virtual Protocol said no. You know what? Well, a lot of people are deciding to quit, call it a day, close down their stuff. They decided to continue building, continue innovating and things, and then decided to come out with a brand new ecosystem, or I guess a brand new way to approach the way that they were doing agents. And let me go ahead and go to the website so you guys are able to see some
So
of those changes that happened. For anyone that remembers virtuals or did play with virtuals a couple months ago, the website looked completely different. There was two different things. You had sentient agents and prototype agents. I mean, those names changed a lot, but it was pretty much like, hey, before you graduated your agent, you pretty much had to get it to the bonding stage. You got people to invest in it, and if it reached a certain cap or certain market cap, it would go from just it would turn into a graduated agent. And if that happened, then it would go into this new page from, instead of a prototype agent where people are just able to move it up, it would then become graduated to a sentient agent is what they called it, which pretty much just meant that people were able to now trade it and enjoy it and whatever. And for a long time, that's just how people looked at it. The crazy degens like me and a bunch of the friends over at 100x, we would be looking at all these prototype agents and seeing, okay, there's a new one. What's all the hype about? Like, hey, is this one going to be good? Is this one have a lot of things? Doing our own research, which is the most important part in something like this. Ensuring that you do your own research and seeing, hey, which ones are scams, which ones are actually legit, and which ones should we actually throw some money into. Because when you have like things, I mean, anyone who even played in Pump.Fund or anything in Solana or any other .fund platforms, you know that sometimes some days there are hundreds, if not thousands, of agents and tokens and everything in between being launched. So the main goal is like, hey, how do we go ahead and sort of scour through all those tokens and actually make sense of all this data that's just being bombarded to us? Um, And I think that's where I personally really started to enjoy virtuals compared to like a Pumped Off Fun or any other sort of platform. And the reason why I enjoyed it is because on Pump.Fun, I mean, if you have seen anything on Twitter or anything, you saw how like people would have like 10 different applications open and it would just be token and token and token, and they'd just be clicking buttons and like pretty much just gambling like, hey, I'm gonna enter here. 30 seconds later, I exit and I'm out. And if you weren't like having super high fees to be able to pay for the transactions to move quickly. Sometimes you got stuck in trades or you didn't click it at the right time. And man, it was brutal. Anytime I try to go to Solana and go enjoy the pumped off fun craze, I got wrecked. And every time I tried, you know what, maybe I'm learning, I'm earning a little bit, I would win two trades and then lose seven in a row. So I was like, you know what? Maybe this pumped off fun stuff is not for me, and Solana just doesn't like the way that I trade. Um, that's when I decided to, really focus more on the virtuals ecosystem. When you had 1,500 tokens launched on Pump Fund, virtuals had maybe like 150 on a good day. And, being able to, go through 150 tokens compared to 1,500 or 2,000, it's a lot easier, especially if you have a full-time job or you're trading as a part-time, like being able to just comb through a lot less and do your own research and spend a little bit more time researching the companies, researching the teams, definitely helped a lot. And so that's what virtuals was for a long time. Um, but then for anyone that was there, or if you weren't there, just like Pumped Out Fun, virtual started to become, especially once it started to have a little bit more of a exposure to the Solana ecosystem. They created their own Solana agents to try to get some exposure to people there. Because if Solana does have something, they do have a lot of liquidity and a lot of people who are trading like crazy. So in a big move, they decided to just expand from base to go to Solana to try to get some of that volume. And volume they did. But along with that volume, a lot of those people that were scamming a lot of people on Pump.Fun and just throwing a bunch of random tokens decided to, you know what? Hey, there's some momentum going over there in that base protocol and virtuals. Let's go see if we can go ahead and do some of what we do in Solana over here. Yeah, Terrace. If I don't know, I know I was talking to Polo about it. If Polo, if you do want to come up, feel free to. Kyle, I know if you were here, Dragoon, Crimson, any of you guys want to come up, feel free to come up. Like as you're able to see, we're just vibing. We're talking about virtuals, and then right now we're about to start talking about Genesis launches. I know you guys are a little bit more knowledgeable about Genesis launches than me. So if you guys want to come up, feel free to. If you guys just want to vibe, that's totally fine as well. But yeah, like I was saying, once they expanded to Solana, that's where we started seeing a lot of the big faults of the virtuals ecosystem. We started seeing a lot of scam tokens. Like it became from like one in every 10 was a scam token and you lost money and you got rugged, where now it's like, hey, five in every seven were scam tokens. And you would see anytime that there was any sort of big launch, like a big name, a big project was going to launch, and they said like, hey, we're going to be launching on Friday. All day Thursday, all day Friday, and all day Saturday, all you would see is a bunch of scam tokens of that project that announced that was going to launch, all just going ahead and bombarding the whole timeline here. So it became really, really toxic. It became really, really hard to be able to do your own research and ensure that you got into the right one. I mean, because if a project announced, hey, on Friday at 10 a.m. we're gonna launch our token, we're gonna launch Damon's CEO token. All day from 9 a.m., 7 a.m., all the way until 2 p.m. All you saw was a bunch of scam tokens with that name, a bunch of different people, and a lot of people got wrecked because how it's hard to know, especially once you get to that time where that it was announced. It's hard to know, like, hey, which one's the right one. And then, as people know, if you've been in the space, sometimes teams take a little bit of a while. They'll launch the token, they'll launch the contract address, and then they'll take like 5-10 minutes before they're able to announce it on their Discord. They're able to announce it on their Twitter. And those 5-10 minutes, man, that makes a life of a difference in the trade. Because if you're able to enter something at 100K compared to 1 million or 1.5 million, that's a big, big difference when it comes to your potential P&L. And as you know, as a trader, your P&L is everything. And if you're able to enter a successful trade at 150K compared to 1.5 million, that's a 10x potential that you're losing right there just because of a delay in an announcement or because you didn't get it early enough. And so you saw a lot of people who were like trying to beat that curve deciding to say, you know what, I'll enter 5 or 10 of these tokens, and I know 9 of them are going to be scams. But if I hit that one that's not the scam, you're able to make all those losses back. So that's really where we left off virtuals at, like around January, late January of 2025, and that's when things really got bad. And then the whole market took a dip, and then we started seeing almost to no liquidity being moved. There was no volume in any of these tokens, and that's where a lot of people decided to take a break. And I'll sell myself too. I said, you know what? There's no point in me trading where there's not a lot of volume. I'll decide to take a break as well, and then really started getting back into it a couple weeks ago when we started seeing a lot of momentums, a lot of changes being happen in the virtuals ecosystem, and they announced this new thing that is what we're really going to be focusing on here today, which is the Genesis launches, like their new sort of big way to actually enjoy new launches, ensure that it's fair for people, and it's more focused around like the community. At least that's the goal of it. That it's more focused around the community, the people that are actually trading, the people that are staking, the people that are believing in these things long term. They're the ones that are able to go ahead and participate in these tokens. And the way that they do that is through these things called Virgin points. So everything changed from, hey, it's the wild, wild west where everybody can just enter as many projects as you want, with as unlimited funds as you want, where now it's like, hey, if you want to go ahead and participate in any of these launches, any of these things that are being launched, you now need Virgin points. Some sort of credit, some sort of credit sort of system. If you have points, then you're able to commit to these agents. As you can see, I just used pretty much all my points in this Solus thing that's processing right now. So I don't have anything to show you guys with, but we'll still go through like the motions into like, hey, if you're into the virtuals protocol and you're trying to figure out like, hey, I want to be able to check these things out. I heard a lot about virtuals. I heard a lot about these AI agents. How can I get started? How can I make sure I do my own research? What are the things that I need to know? Especially even if you did take a break like a lot of other people and you come back, how can I ensure that I'm doing things correctly in these ever-changing times? I do want to take a pause here to just say to everyone in the chat, everyone in the audience, remember we do have three $10 giveaways near the end of the stream, near the end of the chat here today. And the ways to enter, I think me and Terrace decided, hey, if you're participating in the chats, you're talking to us, you're asking questions. I think Terrace, correct me if I'm wrong. One of them is going to go to the best question asked in the audience throughout the whole hour, hour and a half. Another one's going to go to someone who like really participates or shares a ticker with us that we can look at and review. And then the last $10 is going to go to the crowd. We're going to take a snapshot at some point during this whole time, and then it's going to go to someone who's just been here the entire time. And yes, let me send you guys the
That
thing
sounds
so
about
you guys.
right. We're gonna do two that either participate actively in the conversation here, or share some tickers that you can go over and have some promise within the virtuals ecosystem. And the one last person we'll take a snapshot of the audience and we'll do a random draw, either duck races or spin the wheel or something like that.
Cool. Looks like I accidentally ended the stream. Let me share my stuff back.
What's up, Kyle? What's up, Polo? It's nice to see you guys. 100x fam in the house.
What's up, Terrence?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, hey, now that
Hello,
I have you
hello.
guys on, you guys heard my little spiel in terms of like the history of virtuals and everything that we've gone through. Anything that you guys think I missed? I think I tried to cover it as much as I
Mm,
could.
Yeah,
I
what
oh,
I mean, it
go
was
ahead, Polo.
mostly you covered most of everything, but one thing was early days there weren't as many. I mean, almost non-existing the amount of snipers you got into projects. After I feel
Mm,
like it got some traction, you start seeing snipers in the early prototype launches. Just as soon as something gets deployed, there's already snipers that have like 1, 2, 3% of the supply, like at 10K market cap, basically. So it was kind of annoying to deal with. Versus early days, there was none of that. It was
Yeah, but
pure.
can we talk about how we beat that, Polo? We should tell them how we beat that.
Yeah, yeah. You go ahead. Tell them.
All right. So what we did was, and I think this is the best thing that traders can do, is get with a group. You want to be trading with people because there's no way you're going to be able to keep up with all the alpha, get all the calls, be able to make trades at the right time without information. Information is priority number one with these projects. It's gone down a lot. The information that we need to verify, because I think Virtuals has done a fantastic job with the way they do launches now with these Genesis launches. But back in the day, it was 15, 20 of us constantly in a Discord together, constantly trading. There was a 24-hour, like, we had shifts essentially. Like, there were people who
Hmm.
stayed up all night during
I
the
mean, we had
first
members
launch.
different time zones in the world. So we're like, okay, this person's here. Hey, wake us up if this hits a certain market cap, and we basically had shifts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, and it's and now it's a lot different, but we still work as a group. We're always looking for alpha together. We're asking each other questions. The best thing you can do is just ask questions to people that are knowledgeable and trustworthy. The timeline isn't always going to be the greatest source of advice unless you're looking at people like 100x Darren and Nick Plays Crypto. Altcoinist is a great one. Um, what's Miko's at? Is it Mardo?
No, it's a Miko crypto
Yeah,
NFT, I think. Yeah,
there you go.
that's
Yeah,
his
that
ad.
Those are
100x
really good
Polo
KOLs.
and the Culture Swine are also some good accounts to follow.
We are KOLs.
But yeah, I mean, you guys are right, dude. I forgot about the snipers. The snipers
Yeah,
were
man.
just a headache. I mean, we remember
But
having to just track the snipers' wallets and seeing, okay, they have 10%. Hey, they just dumped 5%. Hey, they're down to 2. Hey, they're fully out. Now the token's gonna be able to actually flourish because there's not a sniper who has a lot of the supply, just constantly keeping the token down.
I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I did kind of miss the wild west feeling of prototypes where you have to do your own research and make sure that you got the right one, not the fake one. It was more, I mean, it's kind of bad, I guess, but it was more like an endorphin hit where you can just see it start running from 50K to 600, 800,000, and like it's about to bomb. It was a different feeling versus the Genesis launches now. And then if you guys want to start talking about the Genesis launches, nobody has anything else to add. We can talk about the Genesis launches and what we think of it, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I think the only thing I will add is the changes in the virtuals ecosystem have made it a lot, like I think Kyle said it. I think it made it a lot easier for people who are just new or starting to trade, a lot easier to understand, a lot easier to participate because as you can tell there's what 10 projects here that are around and that you're able to participate or not even participate yet, but 10 projects that are gonna be that you're going to be able to participate in compared to the hundreds, if not thousands, that you would get throughout a day or throughout a week a couple months ago. And like Polo said, the part of me does miss that crazy wild, wild west because, and you guys probably know this and you guys probably heard this in other calls and on Twitter and everything, but when there's chaos and there's a big learning curve to become profitable, the margins of success and how much you're able to make are exponentially more. If it takes a while for you to learn an ecosystem, to study it, to have to read, to actually understand it, and to find your own edge compared to your other, you could look at other traders as your quote unquote competitors or the people that you're going against because at the end of the day, if they exit first and the token goes down and then you get at a lesser price, the higher the cap is for you to learn and actually understand the ecosystem, the more money you're able to make. Because if you think about it, just what we've talked about over the last 20 minutes of how much research and how much attention, how many people it took to actually be able to keep track of all this craziness and all this information that was just being sent to us. Not a lot of people could do that, and not a lot of people were able to do that. But like some groups that were able to, or like people who had like couple friends that they were able to trade with, like you're able to go ahead and get an edge over other people who are maybe just doing it by themselves or are doing it casually or are just starting out in the ecosystem and don't fully understand like the complexity of it. That's where you were able to speak like, hey, instead of a 2x on a token, I was able to enter at a good price and hold it and really believe in it for a little bit longer. So instead of a 2x that most people got, some of us got like 10x's or 50x's, or sometimes we would hit 100x, which is where you're really trying to go to. But if it wasn't for those edges or for that time really researching it and understanding how to tell which ones are the bots and which ones were the snipers and how to prolong yourself and ensure that you can sustain that cell pressure until the snipers fell out, or being able to tell which one's real, which one's fake, and calling that out and making sure that you guys are all entering the real ones early. Like those are the things that now, because it's away, it's a lot. I would say it is a little bit harder to get those massive gains where you turn $100 into 10,000, because right now, and that's what we're going to talk about right now with these Genesis launches, it is a little bit hard to get $100 or $1,000 into these projects unless you're moving a lot of volume. Right now, the way that they're doing it and the way that you're able to participate is based on how much points you get, like we talked about, and we're going to talk about how you get those points. But like before, you were just able to play with whoever you wanted and make or lose as much as you wanted. Now it's changed a little bit, so we can talk about that now. But yeah, everything has changed into these Virgin points. If you have Virgin points, you're able to participate in these Genesis launches. Let's look at Jarvis Agent. That's the one that has the most subscribed. So once you come to the Virtuals protocol and you go to this page, you look at the Genesis launches. You can still look at the sentient agents from and the prototype agents from before, the ones that graduated, the ones that are already there. And I believe, Kyle Polo, correct me if I'm wrong. A Genesis launch, once they are actually, go through and they do have 100% subscription, they become a sentient agent as well, right?
I mean, yeah, they become so basically it's you're filling up the bonding curve that needs to graduate, and then after that, there's about 24 hours until the token actually goes live. But yeah, that's essentially what it is. It's becoming sentient, and the Genesis launch just means that it's
Have
gonna go off the launch pad and become sentient.
Have you talked about what the price launch is at or anything, Caesar?
No, no, we're just getting started right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, when you buy into these Genesis projects, you're buying in at a $250,000 market cap. So everything that's above that $250,000 market cap is considered a win on your virtuals agent. And we haven't seen many
Well,
projects launch like right above that. Usually they launch
mhm.
at like 1 million. Some have launched at like 15, 16, and it's just consistently getting better and better.
Yeah, it
So
just depends
launches
how
are
hyped the
great.
project is basically and how much people because there's the number of participants. Like for example, look at Solus right there. That's the highest one I've ever seen. Like 12,500 participants at 2,500% oversubscribed. So all you need is 100%. So the more people subscribe to it, the more virtual virgin points they put in, and the more virtuals they put in along with their points for their allocation. That number is just going to keep going up, and you're going to launch at a higher price. Now, what Kyle said, it is 250,000 market cap right now where it's launching at, but that's because it needs 112,000 virtual tokens. That's the bonding curve. So it depends. Let's say virtual goes to $3, then the market cap that it's going to launch at is going to be a significant, like a little bit higher, right? So it's not really dollar value the market cap you're getting. It's the number of virtual tokens that you need to graduate the project.
And so as you guys are able to see here, yep, it's 112,000 virtual tokens, which roughly at this pricing, I don't know how if this is updated or if this is just regular text, but that's around 253,000 USD FDV. So if you're able to enter and you get an allocation, then you get some of those tokens back. And then so we could look at Jarvis Agent as an example of what that looks like, what these points are, how you go ahead and get virtuals. So for those who don't know, virtual token is the token for the ecosystem. If you want to play, you need virtual tokens to purchase and to trade these agents. Now on top of that, for these Genesis launches, you also need points. If you have points, as you can see right now, I have 0 points because I just used them all up in another one. But if you have points, you're able to pledge your points and also pledge some virtuals in order to get some allocation or hopefully get some allocation of these agents. For Jarvis agents, right now there is a total of 28.16% of virtuals needed in order for this to actually bond or hit that graduation and become sentient and move on to the next stage. If they're not able to do that until the time runs out, um, I think everything gets refunded back to you. So if something doesn't go through,
Yeah,
like
it does.
before when it was just prototype agents, if it never bonded, and if it never got to that sentient thing, if it never went from prototype to sentient, you were just sort of stuck there. I mean, you could sell your tokens and just call it a day, but a lot of projects, and we have hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of tokens that never made it, especially towards that end of that, like January in 2025, that January timeline. A lot of projects weren't bonding. There was no volume, there was no activity, so a lot of projects just sort of got stuck there. And it went from like 10 to 15 tokens graduating every single day to maybe like one or two a week, which showed how like rough things were getting. But now, if a token isn't getting any support or people aren't believing in it, the community doesn't believe in what they're doing, what the team is doing, then hey, if they're not able to fulfill that 100% at the end of that time, and whenever that time ends, everybody gets their tokens back. Do you know if we get our points back? Do you get your points back, or are the
Yeah,
points
you
also
get
gone?
if it yeah you get your points and your virtuals back if it doesn't graduate or fill up to 100%. You get everything back.
So now it's a little safer to participate in these Genesis launches. Of course, I say safer with quotations. Nothing is ever truly safe because even if it's something graduates, it's ever to fail and it doesn't go anywhere. But at least now, if it doesn't fulfill that 100%, you know you're getting your points and your virtuals back, which is awesome. That means that you're able to participate in things with a little bit less of a worry if you're going to lose everything overnight. And now the other thing is that when you click on these Genesis launches, you're able to see a lot more information than you were before. I think before all you got was a chart and like a little bit of information, maybe a Twitter page, maybe a website, but things didn't always work. But now, if you scroll down a little bit, it tells you why this agent is bullish, a little bit about what this token is supposed to do or will do, what this agent does, links to their Twitter, any capabilities that are there, and then this one doesn't have a lot, so maybe I'll choose another one. But here you'll be able to see team details. So usually there's a lot of little things up with the X profiles and more things about who the developers are, who are the teams helping it. You go to project details, and I think this is something that the team has to put in themselves. So you're able to read a lot more and do some of your research as to like, hey, what is this agent actually gonna do? Is this something worth my time? Is this something worth my virtuals and my points? Because as we're gonna talk about right now, your virgin points are very, very important. I learned that very quickly. I was throwing my virgin points around like there was no tomorrow, and I ran out. And getting virgin points back is like an ever-changing formula that you need to learn and keep up with if you want to get more points to be able to participate in these launches. But like you're able to read a lot more about the details here, do some of your research. Then you, of course, you got to go look up their websites or Twitter pages to ensure that it all adds up and it all makes sense. You're able to look at the tokenomics a little bit. How much things are going to go for public sale? How much is going to go for the liquidity pool? How much the developer is going to get? And that changed real time. And so you're able to see a lot more things than you were before, which is great. When we talked about how we had to go out and find all these things, it was crazy trying to find all this information before, and sometimes it wasn't even existent. So the fact that the virtuals team is encouraging people and teams to go ahead and supply more information for people to be able to make more educated decisions is awesome. This is really good for people who are just starting off and who are just starting out trading. This is really good because now you're able to see things yourself and be like, okay, I like that. Hey, you know what? Their marketing team is gonna get 50%. What? That doesn't make sense. I don't want to support that. Then you're able to make that decision yourself. But let's look at another agent so you guys are able to see. I was gonna look at Solus, but Solus just left. Let me see if we're able to see Solus.
Yeah, look at Verdant. Look at Verdant upcoming if you want to look at some more details.
Okay. So yeah.
It's yeah.
I think Crib's asking,
look at that.
how do you accumulate them? I guess how do you accumulate the points?
Version points.
Yeah.
Volume is the
Well,
best thing you could do.
Yeah,
Trade
volume and well, first stake some virtuals, preferably for the long term, like 2 year max lock. You can even stake like 5 or 10 virtuals, like 20-30 bucks if you want to, and then volume trading, like Kyle said, just trade. If you get into Genesis launch, don't G. If you sell all your allocation and airdrop, which I learned the hard way, you will go to G jail and you will not get any points for 10 days. Instead, just lock up and stake that token and it'll amplify. It will just basically be a multiplier for your Virgin points.
Yeah. And I do want to say, take everything that we're saying right now with a grain of salt. That's the information that we have today. And the reason why we say that is because the way to earn virtual points and how they calculate it is ever changing. Like we
Hmm.
mentioned, this whole Virgin Points and Genesis launches is very new still. I mean, even in the last 7 days, a lot of changes have happened. So who knows that if next week is going to be the exact same thing. But if you want to go ahead and look for yourself what's the newest, like the most up to date answer as to how do I get Virgin Points, if you're in the Virtuals Protocol website, just click on your top points. Hopefully, it doesn't say zero like mine. You click here, it brings you to this page. You're able to see how much Virgin points you have. It takes you, the pledge now just takes you back to the Genesis launches. You're able to see if you have a daily active bonus activated and if you can claim it. We'll talk about that in a little bit more. You're able to see how many points are being distributed every day and when they're being distributed, how the distribution is happening. So this tells you like, hey, where do I need to go if I want to get some points? People who stake Vader get 5% of every distribution of the Virgin points. VE virtual points get 20%. So if you hold VE virtuals, and we'll talk about that right now, you get 20% of all the Virgin points that are happening. People who yap, people who are on Twitter, people who are talking about the virtuals ecosystem, the launches, and everything in between, you're getting 2%. That doesn't seem like a big thing, but hey, those things can stack up, especially if not a lot of other people are tweeting and yapping about it. And then the daily active bonus, like Kyle said, the most important thing, volume, just being active in the ecosystem, trading, buying, moving funds around in the ecosystem. That gives you a whopping almost 73% of all Virgin points comes to people who are actually trading and being active every single day, which makes sense. If you want to reward people who are actually active and participating and being a healthy participant in your ecosystem, you want to reward them the most. And that's one of the big changes that I think has happened in the last 2 weeks. There used to be this thing called a diamond hand bonus where if you just got a Genesis launch and you held it and you didn't sell it, you got a bonus. That changed 7 days ago. They said, you know what, we don't want people to just hold it in their wallets liquid. We actually want people to stake it to ensure that, hey, there's at least some time before they're able to unstake it, and that's like more of like a signal of you actually believing in that project. So instead of being able to just hold it for points, now you have to stake it for points. But here is where hopefully they keep updating this, because I think this little graph is very, very easy to understand and important for people who maybe are new to the ecosystem. How to earn points. If you want to earn points, the dues, you yap. So you talk about virtuals, you link your X, you talk about the tokens, you talk about, and if you do it, you're able to get some points. I know some people here and some people on my timeline are doing it, and try to be more like of a good person about it. Like, hey, give some information about it. Don't just be like, I'm yapping to earn points. Day two of yapping to earn points. Like, that's really not going to be helpful for the community. You're probably not going to earn a lot of points. Just try to talk
Yeah.
about like, hey, I'm
It's
researching
gotta be
about this.
it's gotta be something of substance that like helps people out, or like just put your 2 cents or actual valid opinions or something. Don't just tag a project or virtuals and just say, this is the tweet, I'm getting points. It won't
Well,
work that way.
it's
You
like
won't get any
reply guying,
engagement.
right?
Yeah, like don't just reply guy it either. Like, yeah, just
I
do
mean,
something
but
of
like
substance.
if you do real good reply guying and really want to build your account on X, and this is something that I discussed with these guys, because a lot of them are like aspiring content creators and trying to build their accounts on X, and I tell them all the time, like, don't just say hi, or just don't just throw something out there to try to participate in the post. Actually provide something of value, and people will contribute back. Right, and that's how you really gain some traction with your posts. That's how you're going to gain traction with the apps. I mean, I earned yaps and I didn't even really participate in the yap deal. So, like, just be you. Just post on things, Like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when talking about substance, I think Polo has done really well in terms of like adding. I mean, I look at his tweets and I'm like, okay, that's good. And he is just about trying to help others, right? At the end of the day, we're all the big community, even though it does have like a PvP aspect to it. We're all trying to make sure that we can earn some money. We're all trying to make sure that we can do some profitable trades and do things the right way. So if you look at Polo's tweets, he talks about like the virtual ecosystem, things that are being changed. Um, you're able to see things about like Tibber. He talks about different tokens. And it's just about not so much like just being a reply guy and adding nothing to the ecosystem, but instead, hey, these are the things that I'm looking at. These are the things that I'm seeing change. Hey, look, there's a new update that just happened. This is why you should keep an eye out on it. Things like that are actually, if just think about it. If you were to see your own tweet on your timeline, would you be like, oh, wow, I just learned something in those 35 seconds that it took me to read that message? Or do you feel like, damn, I hated seeing that and I don't want to see that ever again? If you're able to answer it with the first one, then you're doing right, and keep tweeting that way, and you will earn some Virgin points that way. Um, and then a couple other things. Join Genesis launches. Participating in Genesis launches allows you to earn points as well, because like we said, you're able to stake those Genesis tokens that you get, or those tokens from those launches, and then able to stake them, and then those stakes actually allow you to get more Virgin points. Staking virtuals. If you have the virtual token, which is what you need to be able to trade in this whole ecosystem, if you stake that, that allows you to get some points. And then another important thing here that I wanted to talk about staking virtuals is that the change that they made 7 days ago is that in order to activate your daily active bonus, so in order for this to be able to get here, and this pretty much just gives you points every single day for being an active participant. So this is something that you check on daily, every 24 hours. If you don't claim it, it disappears. And the way to activate this is you actually need to stake virtuals in order for this to become a thing. So if you're not staking any virtuals, stake a little bit. There's a bunch of ways to do it. You're able to do it up to 2 years. I do not recommend for anyone, this is not financial advice. 2 year locking is insane just because you don't know you don't even know where you're going to be at in 6 months. How do you know where you're going to be at in 2 years? So what I'm doing personally, not financial advice, is locking things up week by week. But then, of course, that means that I also need to keep in mind for these dates. In a week from now, I need to come back, claim those tokens, and restake them if I want that bonus again. Because once that timer runs out and your week is up, then you're no longer earning those. You're no longer earning that active bonus for your points. So
Yeah, that's a smart thing to think about. Like long term, you don't know where the project will be. It is important though to note that there's different lock periods you can do for your tokens. So you can have multiple locking periods with different times. It's not necessarily like your only option is to lock it for 2 years. That's it. You can. I mean, I have locked personally like some virtuals for 2 years, some for 6 months, some for a month, some for a week.
yeah, you have a week. You have a bunch of timers, and you're able to customize it. Your week, 4 weeks, 12 weeks, 24,
Yeah.
52 max. And then you even have an auto max lock mode. So like if you want to go even more than 2 years, you can decide to do that.
I
And
think
the
actually I
reason
think Automax is the 2 year. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. 2 year and Automax is the same amount. Because I did do an Automax and it was a 2 year lock.
I think the auto max just makes sure that it's always at 2 years. So in a week from now, instead of
Oh,
being 2 years minus a week, it's still 2 years. So it
yeah, you're
just keeps it
probably
at two
right.
years.
You're probably right.
Um, and you're
Now,
probably wondering,
somebody had a
I'll go
question
for it
about
first.
whether or not notifications are sent out after the lock time is up.
Not right now. Hopefully they add something like that because I personally think that would be very helpful. But this is a decentralized platform, so they don't. All they have is your wallet, and
Hey,
so
real
they don't
quick,
have.
sorry to interrupt. Solus just launched at 64 million.
Oh,
Yo, by the way,
that's
apparently
crazy.
Kyle Solus is at $62 million
Bro,
market
did
cap.
he? This man did not just hear what I just said, did
Oh,
he?
my bad. No, I was looking at something else. Did you just say that? My bad.
Literally the same thing.
Okay, all
You're
right, all right.
fucking kidding me.
All good, Polo. All good. It's definitely ripping though.
Yeah,
That's
as you're able to see, it's at 40. It's bouncing between 35 to so, but it did have that 66 million wick. And this is one of the ones that we were just participating in, and one of the ones that we're just graduating. So we've talked about points, we've talked about how to get them, how to stake them, why you should get points. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, these points, if I have a bunch of them, why would I even want them? Is it going to be profitable for me? So let's look at Solus as an example of like how profitable or how beneficial it could be. Of course, not everything is going to rip to 60 million. Some are not going to go do these kind of volumes. But over the last couple of weeks, pretty much every agent that's had oversubscription or have some volume or have some things have done pretty well for people who have participated in and been part of that. And the reason why, and I think this is more of an opinion, and I think Kyle and Polo will probably have different opinions than me. So I'm glad that they're up here with me because this is where we talk about like why things are working and how things are going to continue to work. But if you look at here, some of the Genesis launches that have ended and that have completed, you're able to see how much subscription they had at the time that the timer ended. So the subscription pretty much just means if you have 100% subscribed, that token's going to go through. If you have it under less, the refunds happen, and then you get your money and your points back. If you have something that's subscribed to 100%, that means if you committed 1,000 points and, for example, 10 virtuals, and it told you that you were going to get 1,000 tokens, then you're most likely to get 1,000 tokens because you got to the bare minimum fully subscribed. But now, if you're oversubscribed, that's where things get a little tricky because that means that a lot more people wanted into that pool than there are tokens to give out. Because at the end of the day, the tokens that are given out doesn't change based on how many people participate. It just means that, hey, you get a lot less tokens for the amount of points and virtuals that you go ahead and commit. But you do get your virtuals back. So for example, in Solus, if you participated and you gave out if you put in 10,000 points and 10 virtual tokens, but at the end of the day there was a 25% or 2500% oversubscribed, and instead of 10 virtuals, you only got one virtual's worth of tokens, then all the other 9 virtuals would get refunded to you, but you would only get one virtual's worth of tokens. So that means that a lot for the 12,000 people that participated in this launch, a lot of people who committed a lot of points aren't going to get their full allocations. So instead of having 1,000 virtuals worth of tokens, they're going to get maybe like 100, 150, which is still great because when you look at things that launch at 250,000 market cap and rip all the way to 60 million from the get-go, that's still a huge win for anyone that was able to get in. And I think Kyle mentioned it at the very start of this Genesis talk. Like, you're getting, if you're able to get any tokens of things that graduate at a 250 million
Yeah,
or
that's like almost
250,000,
300x off the rip, yo.
yeah,
Like
which
that
is
is
insane.
incredible. Where are you gonna get? Even if you put in $1 and you turn that to 300, like that is a huge win, man. Like when you just talk about pure P&L and potential that you're making on these trades, you're not gonna beat something like that because we search day and night for these types of plays. Sure, we're not able to get, as much money as we want as an initial investment, but if you consistently are hitting things that are between, anywhere from 20x all the way to 300x, it's only a matter of time before your portfolio has, multi-xed in what it was previously. So like I'm actually in awe. Like I'm blown away at this launch right now. Launching at 60 something million from where it was is just incredible to me.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I think that's the biggest I've seen something launch in this new era.
Oh,
Um,
100%. Yeah, 100%. It's the biggest one so far.
I see some people talking about how long they're gonna lock. Like we mentioned, 2 years is a bonkers time. If you're locking for 2 years, make sure that you are not locking more than you're willing to potentially not see for 2 years or ever again. Because who knows if this will be here in 2 years. Hopefully it is. We're all hoping that it is and thriving in 2 years. But definitely sort of position yourself where like that 2 years isn't as much as you have, but if you are wanting to participate that week to week to at least test the waters, every week come in like, okay, I got to restake, I got to claim and restake my tokens, you're still getting VE virtuals and you're still getting points and activating that daily active bonus. So make sure that what you're staking for 2 years is something you're willing to risk. Yes, that is what they call risk, and it is risky indeed. So just make sure you're playing with money that you're willing to lose. Make sure you do your own research. Don't just take everything that we're talking about here today at face value. Go to the website, go to their Twitter, do your own research, read through it, make sure it all makes sense and it sounds good to you before you decide to throw some money at it. But yeah, if you look here, as we were mentioning, this oversubscription just means that, hey, maybe all your tokens that you committed aren't going to be used, but hey, you get it back, which is awesome. That is something beautiful. Think about it. Like if I put 100 virtuals in, and a lot of other places, I consider those $100 or $1,000 or whatever it is as gone. Like, okay, I just spent it. But here it's like, no, if not all of it is used, I get it back, and then I get those tokens that I do get back as used. And actually, let's see if I can go ahead and use this as a good example. Now that Solus is here, I don't know if we've gotten our tokens back, but once a Genesis launch actually goes through and becomes available, like Solus did, and the Solus actually became graduated at the top of the hour. So when we started this chat and this stream, that's when Solus had just ended and became successful. Let me see if I
Somebody
can get my
somebody in the chat
tokens.
did ask just now, is it a flex lock or is it a hard lock for the 2 years? Can you unlock earlier with
Hard
like
lock.
a hard lock? All
Nope.
right, so yeah,
Hard
you
lock.
guys won't be able to unlock within the 2 years. You would have to hold it for the 2 years. So make sure you're only locking what you're comfortable having locked for 2 years.
Yes, yes, yes. Please be careful, as we mentioned a lot. Definitely ensure that if you're locking something for 2 years, it is something you're okay not seeing for 2 years. Of course, you're going to get a lot more virgin points, and it's going to be you get the full value of your virtuals. I think for the 2 year lock, you get a 1-to-1 virtual to VE virtual, um, but it does come at a big risk. So I'm trying to see if I'm able to. Polo Kyle, were you guys able to get your Solis coins yet? Or probably not yet, huh?
No, not yet.
Um,
Okay.
The
I was
site's
trying to look.
probably pretty slow right now because of all the people. This is going to be huge on the timeline in terms of people
yeah,
posting. So I would imagine it's going to take a little bit for these for this to show for our
Okay.
unlocks.
Yeah, I was trying to show that unlock to them so so they're able to see what it looks like. Let me see if I'm able to show token unlock.
Normally it
Okay.
happens. They launched at what 10 o'clock, 10:30. It'll probably be
At
like
10.
noon 30, somewhere around there when we'll get to unlock. Which I'll be real, I don't mind that it happens because if it's happening to us, it's happening to almost everyone. So all it's doing is taking away that sell pressure. Um, so to me, it's not a huge deal. Like, sure, it sucks knowing, but most of us aren't gonna sell anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just gonna restake this. But depending
excuse me.
on how many points you put in. What I tell everyone is when you plan on selling on these, you're going to jail. So sell what makes it worth going to jail. Know that the next 9 days you cannot earn points. So if you're going to be in jail, you might as well make sure that bag is worth it, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
nope.
don't just sell like 120x and go to jail for 9 days cuz then you're screwed. You have no that's all the money you get for the next 9 days on virtuals, and then you got to wait for a pledge, which is going to be another day, and then for the launch another day. So you're really cooking yourself there. So it's better to like, all right, I've got a bunch of projects where they're holding value at between 10 and 30x, whatever it ends up being. Then sell those all at once on the same day, go to jail, and just know that for the next week you're cooked. But at least you got the bag that's worth that jail time, right?
Yeah. And we haven't talked about jail yet. So we talked about how to participate in them, what the virgin points are, why they're so important. Just a quick recap. Virgin points are your key to participate in these Genesis launches. Why you want to participate in the Genesis launches? Because you're able to get into tokens and into protocols that are obviously getting a lot of support because you're able to see how much is being subscribed at a 250,000 fully diluted value. That is bonkers. Like any sort of tokens that you're getting from these Genesis launches, you're getting at of course the FTV changes because of virtual price is changing, but at a 250K valuation is insane. Like that's where of course you would hope that it's lower, but to be able to guarantee yourself getting at in that price, any sort of tokens that you're able to get that's why these are so important, and is why they're so good for a lot of people, because you're getting yourself at such a good valuation. And if something launches at 1 million, you're already up. If something launches at 60 million like Solus did, of course it's at 45 now, but even at 45 million, you got your tokens at 250,000, and when you receive them, they're going to be at 45 million. Like how bonkers that is, right? But of course, not everything that is like flowers or that shines is diamonds, and there are some drawbacks to this, and some of those we already mentioned. You're obviously not able to play with the kind of as volume as you were able to if it was just free for all. You're not able to, if you have $1,000 and you don't have a lot of points, you're most likely, almost guaranteed, you're not going to be able to get your $1,000 worth of tokens back. And that's what Kyle is saying. If you were only able to get $1 of your 1,000 in, and you only get, from that dollar, you get $50 back because you made a 50x, is that $50 worth going to jail for? So what is jail? Jail and TP cooldown, and these things are mechanics that Virtuals has added since with this new launch to ensure that people who are entering these Genesis launches aren't just getting into them because they want to make a quick buck. They want to make a quick flip. They want to take their $100 and turn it to 10,000 and then yeet and call it a day and leave the protocol behind. You're able to do it. There's nothing stopping you. There's nothing that's saying, hey, you can't sell. This isn't a honeypot. But if you do sell, what happens then is that you go to virtual jail, meaning that for the next, is it 9 days? I thought it was 7. Did they up it? For 9 days, you're not able to get any virgin points. So that if you put all your points into something, you got your 50x or 100x or 300x, and you're like, you know what, that's enough for me. I'm gonna sell my whole bag as soon as I get it. Awesome, you made a good profit, you made a good trade, you should be happy. But for the next 9 days or however long it is, because that time is always changing, you will not be able to receive any more virgin points, meaning that you're not able to participate in any more Genesis launches. So it's like a pro and con. Hey, I'm able to go ahead and fully get my value out of this trade that I just made. And you should be happy because, hey, 50x doesn't come around every single day. But at the same time, you have to think, hey, am I willing to take this 50x in order to not be able to trade or participate in these next launches for 9 days? So that's something that you have to think about yourself. Like, hey, is this something worth it? Polo, Kyle, do you guys know how long it? Because I know this changed a couple times. How long before your selling doesn't put you in jail?
The next day you'll be in jail.
No, I mean like if for example Solus, let's use Solus as an example. How long until I'm able to sell these tokens without going to jail?
So if you go back to the Genesis page,
Damn, I've been muted.
so you see, they don't show the token.
Yeah,
lock
it's broken
here.
right
Like,
now.
it's
Yeah.
broken, but normally
But,
it will
yeah.
say in green, it will say a token lock, and it will say token unlock in 90 days, 120 days. That's how long you have to hold it until
Yeah.
you would be able to sell it without getting jail time.
See, and there's a dynamic consequences too. So if you fully sell your allocation, you get maximum jail, no points. And the jail period I think starts at 10 days and it starts counting down, so it's like 9 days, 23 hours, etc. Right? But if you, let's say, sell 5% of your allocation that you got, it's a dynamic like the point system that you start receiving points is dynamic. So you don't get your full points, but you also don't get fully punished and get 0 points. So they do kind of have you do have an option of selling a little bit to get less points, but take some funds out of the project. Versus if you fully basically sell your allocation, then you're just like not getting any points. It is a game.
Like this.
It is gamified for sure. Like it's I guess some strategy to it.
Yeah, and it looks like this. I like Polo said, they did make some changes today. They make some updates because some of the points weren't calculating correctly, so they fixed all those calculations issues, and people should now have the points that they should have, and that sort of changed some of the UI things. But it looks like this. So you'll be able to see the token, a little green icon, and how long it takes for those tokens to unlock. And I also believe that this shows how long until the dev tokens also unlock. So in 28 days, not only can you fully sell without having any sort of repercussions, but at that time, the dev and their tokens also unlock, which means that they're able to go ahead and sell and do whatever they want, or stake again, or do whatever they want with their own tokens. And that brings us to, I think, one of the final points that we'll talk about here, because we have sort of bombarded you guys with a lot of information, and we'll have a second part or another part in 2 weeks. I think on the 12th is when we're having another episode of this. But the last thing I want to leave you guys here with is that one of the things that you got to keep in mind is, okay, everything we've talked about so far, it sounds awesome. Like, hey, I want to participate. I want to be able to even get my couple tokens, because even if I'm able to get $1, turning that dollar to 20 to 50 to 100 is awesome, because you're not risking a lot for potentials. And then if you're getting those virgin points up, then you're able to participate in more of them as well. But one of the things that we have started to see is like, hey, what happens when the tokens unlock? These tokens can't go forever up. No token goes forever up. So one of the things that we've seen, and this isn't a rule, this is just something that we've started to notice, is that when the token unlocks and that timer gets closer and closer to 0, where the person who controls it or the developer is able to sell, that's when the token starts to go down, because that's when people say, okay, I'm no longer going to go to jail for selling. I'm going to start taking profits. So the closer that they get to zero, that's when you start seeing tokens to go down a little bit. And the once it does hit zero, that's when tokens tend to just go whoop straight down or take a big hit. And then of course, if the token is good, the project is good, the AI agent and the fundamentals are solid, that token should bounce back. Not saying it will, but it should bounce back if it's something that is honestly believed in.
There's another factor too that the devs can relock the token. So the closer it gets to that unlock date, they can decide to relock it back up for X amount of days. That's actually something I like address where it's like it feels like you're just trapping at this point the traders and the investors.
Yeah. So it's something to keep in mind. Always keep an eye out on those locks, and we'll talk a lot more in depth about it next time. But again, for the last thing, to be able to just recap everything, if you want to participate in these launches because they are juicy, and if they do have a lot of subscription and they do hit crazy marks like 40 million, where it's at right now, you do make some money back. But of course, it doesn't. It's not just free. It's not like, hey, I just listened to this for an hour. I'm gonna go and throw $1,000 and make a bunch of money. No. The way that Virtual's protocol has changed over the last couple months and evolved is that now, if you want to participate and take advantage of those awesome, juicy rewards, you have to be an active participant in the ecosystem. If you're starting with 0 points, like I am now again because I used all my points, go out there and do a bunch of these. Go yap. You can talk on Twitter, link your Twitter, and talk about virtuals. Be like, hey, I just learned about virtuals for the first time. I learned a lot more in the Citizen Journalism Friends Discord with the 100x boys in the To the Moon episode. I'm ready to learn more about it. Go talk about that. If you want, stake some virtuals. Remember, the lock time is for sure. So if you're locking for 2 years, you're not seeing those virtuals for 2 years. So be careful with that. Trade more virtual agents, and this is where I think the big part of you being actually able to get a lot of the Virgin points comes in, because like Kyle and Pola have mentioned a lot of times, volume is the key. 73% of the Virgin points every single day are given to people who are active, who are trading points. And it doesn't have to just be Genesis launches. It could be other agents that have already been sentient. And if you want to learn about which agents are good to be trading or good to be talking about, follow some of the people that we've talked about before. Go follow the Virtuals Protocol Twitter page, because they not only give you all the updates as to like what's happening in their ecosystem and how it's ever changing, but if you also look, they're also talk about some of their favorite protocols or the protocols that have been around forever, some of what we call the OGs that were here before the Genesis, that were here before the rehype, that were here since the very beginning when the website looked completely different, back when there were two websites instead of one. So
Yeah.
you're able to
Right.
see,
Oh my god.
yeah, I mean, so much has changed over the last like six,
Dude,
7 months, but
do you remember like some of us thought that okay, this looks like a scam website. We're not gonna do anything on this now. But
yeah.
yeah, it just like it evolved so much, man, in the last 6 7 months. It's pretty against wild.
So yeah,
And
yeah,
it
man.
really seems like the Genesis aspect of it is a lot more stable, because the big issue with like their initial like prototype was like the snipers that you kept running into. Like people would snipe the hell out of those projects and dump as soon as it gets
I
Mm-hmm.
supposed to
mean,
run.
Terrence,
And
people are still
yeah.
sniping these ones. It's been hard to do, but yesterday somebody sniped the project at 2 million, 2.5 million,
Oh.
and they made about $300,000 profit. I don't know how they're
Whoa.
doing it, but I'm sure Virtual Steam's going to be on top of it. But yeah, it's still an issue. But their work it's a lot better than it used to be for sure, 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, you can always drop the X page, Crib, but he's dropping Towcat. I don't know if that's a virtual or a prototype or
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
but
Is it? Let me see. Let me look it up in here.
I
See
think it
if
is.
yeah,
I
because he
think
was
it is
saying
on. Yeah,
it's backed by virtuals, but it's on
yeah.
base. So I think it might be one of the base virtuals prototypes.
I think I do recognize the name.
No, I do
It's an
recognize the
OG
name too.
one.
I think it is OG one. Yeah.
There's so many tickers now. The search takes forever.
I think it's more of the Solus launch. The Solus launch probably slowed down their system a
Everything.
lot. Yeah,
Oh,
because I wasn't
they're
even
on
able to look at the
Soul
Genesis.
and base, so they might
Yeah,
be
they're on
on.
Sol and
Yeah,
base.
Yeah, Talcat is an
I
OG.
yeah. Let's take a look here real quick.
Yeah, if you guys are able to load it up, or Terrace, if you're able to load it up, let me know. Um,
Um, I have the contract addresses here. Let me see if I can pull it up on virtuals. Virtuals.io. And be careful,
Our
there is a
website is
fake virtual
broken.
site that's out there. So make sure when you're typing that address in, you're making sure you're going to the right one. Because one of the big names in the space, Sam, the other day, just got wrecked for like 25K. Going to the wrong virtual site. He either
oh yeah,
typoed it in or something like that, and then it looked like it brought him to the right site, and it messed him up pretty good. Where our hearts go out to Sam right now with that issue. It hurts so much to get drained like that.
yeah. Always triple, quadruple verify your links. And as you can tell, one of the things that I do, and I highly recommend all you guys do, is once you guys actually go to the right link, bookmark it.
Yep.
Bookmark everything, every single site, every single dex, every single thing that you're going to be using often. If you play games, every single game that you play, if you do DeFi, every single DeFi protocol that you go, bookmark them all. Especially once you know it's the legit one. Definitely
Yeah.
do that because then you'll know you're going to the right one every single
All
time.
right, guys, I'm gonna head out though. Thanks for this. I gotta go run some errands.
Oh yeah,
So
bro.
thank you. Thanks for having us.
Appreciate you, Polo.
Hope you guys learned some things. And use Kyle's referral code.
Yeah. Are you gonna let Kyle share his referral code? I can post that up if you guys are happy with that. If you want Prio for that, Caesar, you know you're hosting. That's it's your choice. Um.
No, yeah, you can put the cows in there.
All right. Yeah, I just want to make sure host gets Prio. You know. Let's see here. Where is it? Copy. And what do you get for sharing referral codes? Like what do you get from
20% of
virtuals?
trading fees.
20?
Yeah.
20% of trading fees.
Holy
Yes.
shit.
Yeah.
That's insane, bro. Hold on.
So
Where's my referral
yeah,
code? No.
say do $100, you get $20. You know.
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
If they generate $100 in fees, so basically it's a 1% fee on virtual side that they charge. So if you spend $100, that'd be a dollar they take, so you'd get 20 cents of that. So 20 cents for every $100 basically of trading volume that people do.
Hmm. And this is something that they just added today, so it's fresh off the press. And this is what's causing some of the UI issues in the website because they just launched this. So you're able to see like where the referral code is, how many people you referred, um, how do I share your referral? You know, just pass it along. Don't put it in people's faces. Uh, Make sure that you're trading along with the people that you refer, not just taking the referrals money and just take and not actually participating in the ecosystem. And a little bit of how those actually work and how much you would be making if people trade. Yeah, I think it's an awesome thing that they added because, like we mentioned, at the end of the day, it all comes down to these Genesis launches are more of like community launches. The allocations for these tokens are hopefully, and that their goal is that they're going out to people who are participating in the ecosystem, who are trading, who are buying virtuals, staking agents, staking these Genesis agents once they go live. Like ideally, they're trying to reward people who are participating in the ecosystem and being active, healthy participants with the points to then participate in more. Obviously, it doesn't always work like that. Some whales are able to go ahead and manage it because they have a lot of volume. So if they have a lot of more money, they're able to get a lot more points, and you're able to see that being reflected in how much people are able to put points. And sometimes you'll see the same wallet in every single Genesis launch. Like, oh, they have another 100,000. Oh, they have another 50,000.
The
And you're able to see, like,
whales.
okay, yeah, hey, if you're a whale and you got money, like you do well anywhere you go because you're able to move markets and move,
That's the
move
thing.
money
They
around.
have a calculated risk of how much they can drop into a project, and if they lose that money, they're comfortable losing it. But so long as they hit on like what was it, a 60% win rate, they make more than they make because of the amount of risk that they're getting and what their take profit points are probably. So like it's huge. Like so long as you're playing smart in the market, you're gonna do much better than if you're just throwing money at shit. shit like haphazardly, and that's kind of why we're bringing in Caesar, and like the other 100x guys are welcome to come up here and share their knowledge and their information and experience and their time trading on the markets, and it's going to help you guys kind of get a better understanding of that. So it goes along with like the community saying of learning, growing, and earning together.
Yes, sir. And one thing I'll say one more thing is, like we mentioned, follow the Virtuals Protocol Twitter account. I mean, just scrolling past the last like week and a half, they are really good about keeping the community up to date about any single change that happens in their ecosystem, as they should. I think any project or protocol worth their value are keeping their people up to date as much as they can. But you're able to see, hey, the Genesis the holding is over. Now it's staking. That happened a week ago, and they give people some time to go ahead and make sure that they can adjust to this new change. So instead of holding, you can stake, and they lay out everything that happens and how to make sure that you're staying up to date is by keeping. Actually, I should turn on the notifications as well. Following the virtual protocols, keeping the notifications up, because every time that they post is something rather important. And this like new change of Genesis launches and staking and Genesis tokens and how to jail and take profit cooldown. All these things are brand new that are changing every single week. So in 2 weeks, when we come back on the 12th and talk about virtual protocols and more in depth and a little bit more advanced, a lot of these things might change. So if you want to stay up to date with any changes that happen between now and then, make sure you follow Virtuous Protocol because they'll give you all the information up to date. But yeah, I mean, you have some amazing things. Like if you guys want, there's this awesome sort of I don't know what you call it. This like document that they made. Or a big post that they made on their page about like how to get Genesis points, how to master points, how to avoid cooldowns, and how to stay virgin, which is their virgin points.
X
So
links
they
are
actually
completely shareable on the platform, mind you. On the Discord, you can
oh
share any
nice
X links you want. We know X
boom
links are safe. We know that YouTube links are safe. So you're welcome to share either of those anytime you want on the Discord.
nice. That is good to know. But yeah, this Hitchhiker's Guide to Genesis Points is an amazing read for anyone who maybe got into this call a little late and you're like, dang, I missed some of those points. Just go read this and go read a lot of these other posts that you see here on their page. They will give you pretty much everything that we've talked about in a more in-depth way to be able to learn about what the daily active bonus means, how to activate it, how to take advantage, what staking these Genesis launches are. Maybe and there's some of these projects don't just have staking inside of the Virtuals website, but they also have their own staking because they want to reward people with more tokens and APR, all that good stuff. So make sure you guys do your own research into every single Genesis launch that you guys do to make sure that you guys are taking advantage of every sort of benefit and staying away from all the bad things that happen every single day in the crypto world.
All right. Whew, this was a lot of information to take in. I will be posting the YouTube link. I'm going to share that link with you too, in case you want to share that with anybody from the 100x server or anybody that you might want to help with like some general breakdown information on the Genesis aspect of the platform. Because that's pretty much all we had time to share today. It was all about Genesis and the points and how to get into it. We didn't have much of a chance to really dive into like tokenomics and like how to really notice good projects at the moment. So remember, guys, be super careful about what you're getting involved in. Make sure you're doing some research, trying to make sure that these are like, for one, legitimate projects, and that they're not like just trying to pump it and dump it. It's hard to tell. And working with a good group of traders that know what they're doing and following along with them tends to help go a long way. I was hanging out with these guys in the 100x and the in trenches server and kind of just watching what they were doing and following along with some of the plays that they were making. And I made some money off of it. I lost some money too, though. So I didn't get out at the good points that they got out at. I didn't get in at the good points that they got in at. You just have to make sure. Yeah, right. Taurus is the ticker. Full rug, full rug. Let's go. But yeah, no, definitely having people like Caesar, having people like Kyle, Polo, the 100x crew, the in the trenches crew, it's vital for you to learn as you're starting out. So definitely find a good set of people. Jump into the 100x server. I shared it up in the chat earlier. You guys it's vital to really get a good solid group or get good solid learning and educational resources, and that's where these guys really do excel in a lot of cases. um, but yeah, do we want to, I know we're over the hour now. Did you see anybody that stood out for any of the comments, or anything that they contributed with, that we can do the two person giveaway for?
Yeah, I think Crib is definitely one that I saw, like not only asking questions and participating in the chat, but also helping others answer their own questions and stuff like that. Especially if I think Crib was here the whole time, so Crib definitely deserves one of the slots. I saw Moglin ask a question which I want to answer. He asked if it makes any difference if you get into a Genesis launch at, for example, 0.07% subscribed compared to a 200 or 2,500% subscribed. It doesn't change anything. It only matters when the timer ends. So if when the timer ends, it's under 100%, that token isn't gonna go live and you get your money back. But if it does go, one of the things, this is just like a rule of thumb, not like a strict rule. Uh, Projects that are closer to 100%, or close to like 100% or over, but closer to that 100% means that you're going to get more tokens out of it because there's less people participating and less ways that pool is going to get split. Something like the one that we saw right now with Solus, that was 2,500% oversubscribed, means that even if you put in 10 virtuals and you were supposed to get those 10 virtuals at 100%, you're only going to get like zero point 0.1 or zero point 0.5 virtuals of those tokens back. But it also means that there's a lot more interest in that project because 12,000 people are trying to get that piece of the pie instead of, like 200 in Jarvis's agent here. So there's pros and cons to it, but general rule of thumb, if something is super, super oversubscribed, yes, you're not going to get a lot of money or a lot of tokens back for the Virgin points that you commit, but you know that there's a lot of either hype or attention in that token. If you see something that only has 200 or 50 participants, but will make that 100% subscribe, then you know you're going to get at least something that graduates and moves on to the next phase. And you're going to get more tokens, but that also should signal you that, like, hey, if it barely hit over 100%, maybe doesn't have as much hype and as much momentum as some of the other ones. So there's like pros and cons that you can weigh to both things.
All right. All right. So we've got Crib so far, and you wanted to give the other one to Moglin for the questions.
Yeah, Muglin did a really good job asking questions, and then I saw someone else's name that I need to scroll up and see. Um,
So
oh, I
you
guess we
said
could do those
Crib.
two, and then the third one we can do the random one.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm already getting the list of names together right now. We'll do a quick duck races because I like the quacks. Um,
Oh yeah.
the quacks are fun. Let me see here. Names, edit list. Uh,
And for anyone who has any more questions between now and when we come back, uh, feel free to reach out to me either here on Discord. My username is 100x Caesar. Discord sometimes is a little weird with how it presents to me random people that try to add me, because I try to be, safe and have some security. But if you do want to reach out to me and make sure that I do see it, Twitter is probably the best way to reach out to me because I do get those notifications all the time. And my Twitter is 100x Caesar. 100Xs are pretty much everywhere. I think even my LinkedIn is that. So if you want to reach out, ask more questions, be like, hey, I'm looking at this Genesis launch and it's looking juicy. What do you think? I can give you my opinions. Of course, none of anything I would ever tell you will be financial advice. At the end of the day, I'm just another trader like you guys, someone that's constantly trying to learn more, and trying to better myself the 100X way. So feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to join the Discord as well. We're always vibing in there. We're not just always trading. We're also playing games. So if you want to play some games, hang out with some people, we're always there.
Yeah, these guys are they're big gamers too. This is one of the ways that I met these guys. I met these guys through gaming first. And then I found out that they were a bunch of degens, and I kind of got turned off a little. No. Um but no,
Degens, we
like
are.
these guys are great. These guys are great. And they play hard too. Like Kyle with Moonray. Moonray's always hosting great events. If you have a PC, I know a lot of you guys are mobile only, but Moonray's constantly doing different events for competitions and giveaways, and just generally
Actually mobile now.
oh,
You can
mobile
download it
too?
mobile. Yep.
Really?
If you have an
I thought
Android.
that was still coming. I didn't know that was live yet.
It was coming and it came. It came out like
Okay.
I think 2 weeks. It's still
Came
fresh. It's
so
like two
fast
weeks,
I
but
missed it.
yeah, it came out 2 weeks
Oh.
ago. So if you guys do have it, I know there's a way to get it. I'm not an Android user, so unfortunately I'm still stuck. Um, but yes, if you have an Android, you are able to now play Moonray on your phone.
Awesome. All right. So I did take the snapshot already. Sorry for you guys who were waiting for the last minute to jump in. Wah. But yeah, I like the fact that we try to focus on participation for some of these events more than just random giveaways. So I did take
Yeah.
the snapshot. I did get a bunch of people in. We are going to be quacking. Oh shit! That actually allowed the server invite through. That's not supposed to happen. Maybe it's allowing it because I gave you the role for guest speaker. So I got to talk with the security team about that. Uh,
Oh,
uh,
okay, yeah, yeah.
but
If it
yeah,
wasn't supposed to go through, yeah,
it's
definitely
not
let them
supposed to go
know.
through. It definitely let it through. It's not supposed to go through. I'm very big on security. I don't like anything but X and YouTube are typically not allowed because I know that we can trust those links typically, and they can't really be manipulated. Like even OpenSea links, you've started to see some of those scam OpenSea links pop up and stuff. I
Oh yeah.
no, not having any of that shit here. Um, but yeah, so we're gonna set this for 2 minutes. I've already set the names. There's only 38 names because I took the snapshot at 38 people. Um, and we're gonna run this race for 2 minutes. We're gonna see who's gonna be the third winner. So far, we've got Crib and Moglin for the first two sets of 10 USDC, or sorry, 10 USDT, and those will be claimable through tickets. You just got to send me your USDT ERC20 wallet address. We also do BNB or BSC. So like if you would prefer it there, you can let us know in the ticket. I think for the smaller amounts or moving forward, we're probably going to do BSC more just because it's a little more cost effective and ERC20 is starting to get expensive again here and there. So I really want to make sure that yeah. Did I send? Oh, you might have gotten last week's, Mayor. I got to double check on that because they don't send me the transaction hashes. I have to check. So it's a pain in the ass half the time. But yeah, we're going to get ready. We're going to get started and we're going to go with the quack. So ready, steady, quack. Let's go. Let's see who's going to
We're
win
not
this
seeing
one.
anything.
Oh, shit. Damn it.
Yeah, I stopped
Whoop.
streaming because I thought you were gonna stream, so I was like, okay, I'll let him stream. But there we go.
Yep. Whoops. Quack.
Oh, there.
Quack. We already started it. There's only 38 people on there because I took the snapshot before everybody started jumping in to try to get in for the giveaway. The participation based ones, I'm not going to let you guys know when I'm doing the snapshot anymore. I'm just going to take the picture and hopefully you guys are here. I know some of you guys watch on X and I try to be as accommodating as possible, but there are people who like to just jump in and try to snatch and I'm not about that. Dev, you should be in there though, because I know you've been here. I took the picture. Let me see. I got Jay. I got oh, did I miss Dev? Not in here. I don't think Dev's in here. That shit. But it is what it is, guys. I took the snapshot and it's going. But yeah. The one giveaway for the random is gonna be a snapshot at random points, and that's just how it's gonna go from this point on. Um, Executive decisions. Some of the fun of being the CM, right?
Hey, those are the decisions. The tough ones
Yeah.
are always the best ones.
I gotta try to be fair to people, and we're coming up on 30 seconds for this race. We've got Toxic in the lead. We've got Mayor pulling up the rear. It looks like Arkansas is pushing to the front. I would love to see Arkansas win one for once. Arkansas has been here every day for every event almost, and hasn't won yet. I would love to see. Come on, Arkansas, Purple Duck go, Purple Duck go. Give it a good quack, Arkansas. Don't say anything but quack, because every time you say something, you never win. Oh no, and here comes Crayon to
Freon.
take the win. Crayon with the last second. He even got all pretty for the camera. Look at that. He's got his lipstick on. Uh,
Dang, and Crayon just said hashtag let Arkansas win or swim.
yep. Please give your. You really want to give your win to Arkansas? I'm sure she would accept it because like she's here all the time, dude. And it's okay. So Creon has given away his win to Arkansas. That's that. See what kind of a friend Creon is, and this is why we support the bro when he's doing his live spaces and when he's doing his events. I'm completely happy to share for this fella because he's always helping us out and always being a good friend to everybody here, and always supporting. He's always here. So that's great. So Creon, he's a princess. Whoops, bloop. Let me move that and end this stream real quick. There we go. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate everybody stopping in and hanging out and listening to Caesar talk about virtuals. Um, what do you have like an idea of what you would want to explore next time? Maybe the tokenomics or anything along the lines. Something that we can prepare these guys for the next time, or do you want to like kind of plan that out and just make an announcement as we come up to it?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the things that, and I guess it will have to sort of be adjusted just in case it doesn't happen. But we're hoping that in the next 2 weeks until that happens, there's a lot more clarity as to not so much a formula, but more of like, hey, these are the regular rule of thumbs if you want to start stacking up virgin points. That's one of the questions that has been asked like 1,000 times to like the virtuals team. Hey, how do I go ahead and get virgin points in a consistent way? A lot of people said, hey, it's going to be staking. We're seeing that staking doesn't necessarily mean you get a lot of virgin points back because whales just stake a whole lot of money and then your couple $100 no longer mean so much when you have millions and millions of dollars being staked. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks we get more of a these are the kind of rules of thumbs that you should be doing, that you can be doing in order to get virgin points in a consistent manner because right now it's a very inconsistent. Sometimes you get sometimes you get a lot, sometimes you don't get a lot. A lot of it, like we've mentioned a lot of times, it is tied to volume and how much you're trading. So having some money to play around with and trade and go in and out of projects helps a lot because that sort of amplifies your daily active bonus. Hopefully in 2 weeks we have a lot more clarity. I can come back with like, hey, these are the top 10 things you should be doing if you want to get virgin points and participate in these Genesis launches. And then I think we'll also be able to see like, hey, look, these are 10 Genesis launches that have happened since May 29th till June 12th. Let's look over them, see what worked, see what didn't. Let's analyze them together and then be able to see like, hey, what are the lessons that we can take away from them to apply to the Genesis launches that are happening after that.
Awesome. So I'm gonna share this link as we go. I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody on the live stream first. Give our friend here a chance to shill a little bit for himself and for the 100x crew. Thank you guys for watching and tuning in. We've had quite a few viewers on X. We've had quite a few viewers on Party and a couple other platforms. I appreciate you all for tuning in and hanging out with the friends today. Remember, you can come be a friend at any time. www.discord.gg/CJN friends. We have events pretty much every day of the week. We're going to start doing a Saturday event for Smash Carts with the IBC team. We have 100x Caesar with the To the Moon every other week now on Thursdays. We've got Toxic with the game nights every other Tuesday. We're going to be focused on mobile games and games that are accessible to everybody within the community. We have Guild Hall Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Typically, Wednesdays are post roast, where we roast the posts from the last week for the contest that we have every week. And we have Maddox, who comes in every other Monday to share some knowledge on the different tools that you can use, such as Canva, CapCut, whatever you have a general interest in. We're doing events for everything, and we've only got more to come. We want to do more trading. We want to do beyond speculation, where people are learning about the tech behind things and not just the speculative aspects. We've got a lot of things we're looking to pump you guys full of information on. So come and be a friend. Come hang out. Come participate. Come potentially win. But the main thing is learning and growing and potentially earning together. So I appreciate you, 100x Caesar, Kyle, 100x Polo, everybody for jumping in and hanging out. All of our friends from SA, from Africa, from SEA, everywhere across the globe. Thanks for coming and joining. 100x Caesar, feel free, brother, to shill whatever you need to shill, and then we'll be closing down the live space.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate it. You having me back. Last time was a lot of fun. We had a lot of good times. We had some fun, had some laughs, and being able to come back and share a little bit about virtuals, the whole ecosystem. I know it's a crazy, convoluted thing, and we went through a lot today. So hopefully you guys are able to listen to this recording back and take some notes because we did go through a lot rather quickly. So hopefully some of that made sense, and if it didn't, like we said, just go ahead and ask questions, send me a message, be like, hey, I didn't really understand that. Can you go into depth with it? I'm always free. But yeah, dude, thank you for having us. The only thing I want to go ahead and show is the 100x page. That is what we're all about. The whole idea behind 100x has always been like, hey, we want a 100x your mentality, your life, your hopefully your wallets as well, and everything in between. And we do that through various means of education. We have the 100x podcast where we talk to projects, protocols, and everything in between. Sometimes with each other about like, hey, what are they building? Why are they building in the space? Why are they using blockchain? Why it matters, and why you people should be excited about that. We have very in-depth conversations with some of the major leaders in the space. So you guys can go ahead and listen to that. They're in that same page. We also have our awesome creators, like we have Yukin, we have Polo, we have Swiffle, and then we have our competitors, people who go out there and dominate the scenes and a lot of different things. And I don't know if you saw, but hey, we have 100x Dragoon also joining us, 100x Mr. House, and 100x the Culture Swine. So it's not just Kyle from Moonray anymore. He is part of 100x. And one of the things that we've noticed is like 100x is not so much more of me and Matthew, but it's like, hey, we're a family. We're constantly growing. People who are contributing to the community, people who are contributing to us as a family, and who are, I mean, at the end of the day, we're not only in this journey in crypto together, but we're also in this journey called life together. We're also growing. We're learning from each other. We're playing together. We're going ahead and having fun. We're trading together. And so if that interests you at all, you're looking for a place to call home, to have find people to have a good time with, to vibe with, to game with, to trade with, to learn from. Come join the 100x, not only on Twitter, but also on Discord. We're always there. You can always find us. So hopefully we see you guys.
Yeah, I always say it's not PvP, it's PvE. Like we're trying to win against the
Yeah.
house. We all participate together, we all work together, we all share. There's enough attention to go around typically, so long as you're providing value, a good place for community, a good place for people to come together, and that's something that 100x does really well, and that I'm trying to promote and be more of here. So I'm taking after you guys. I'm taking after a lot of the big communities in the space that just do an awesome job at bringing people together and keeping people engaged and helping people learn. So I'm looking forward to working with you guys more and seeing you guys here more, participating with the community and the friends. You guys aren't just a 100x family; you're part of the friends family now, and I look forward to seeing you guys more for sure. But
Yeah,
yeah.
dude. I heard how many events you guys have. I was like, dang, okay, I gotta show up some of these. See some of the Matics, some of the Toxics. Let's go. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, we played Thetan Arena yesterday, and it was awesome. We had a lot of fun. Not yesterday, day before yesterday. Yesterday was the post roast. But yeah, we're gonna end
Nice.
the live space here. Remember, check them out at 100x official or 100x underscore official for the 100x official web X page, and 100x Caesar on X. But yeah, you can find all the Discord links and everything to find them there. And of course, you know where to find me. You just got to click my profile page. I'll catch you.